Hey, y'all, welcome to the Local Living Podcast. This is our first episode, and we are so excited. I'm Reid Casey with the Reid Casey Real Estate Team with Keller Williams, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my professional and personal journey and how we built our business and why I love to do what I do. Real estate is more than just a business for me. It is my passion, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. I'm going to tell you guys just a little bit about my background. When I was 4 years old, my parents made a huge sacrifice and moved my family from West Tennessee to East Tennessee, specifically to get my sister and I into a better school district. And watching them go through that process as a child was really inspiring to me. To show what they were leaving behind in order to what they could give us as kids was pretty incredible. It's one of the things that a lot of our clients do for their kids, and I think that's pretty inspiring. The neighborhood they decided to move into had 22 other kids that were my age. And I'm going to tell you something, it was the absolute best childhood environment. We were outside all the time. There were bikes in the front yards of our neighbors' houses. We played street hockey, backyard football, baseball. I mean, you name it. We were out in the creeks and roaming around. It was absolutely the most incredible environment that as a child that I could have had. Some of those guys are still some of my best friends today. I just remember being super proud of the home that my parents built for us. And although we had a pretty nice house, I was more proud of what they created inside the home. The values that my dad instilled, the relationship between my mother and my father that they still have today, their incredible marriage. My sister and I were just so blessed to be raised in, quite honestly, a fantastic household. I remember something my dad used to always share with me is that a man should always love his work. And that's something that I've certainly tried to live with throughout my career. So my professional journey, it actually started when I was 19. I was a freshman in college, and I was looking for an apartment off campus in Chattanooga. As I looked around at a lot of places to rent, a lot of options to rent, I landed on this little studio apartment that was absolutely perfect. I could ride my bike into school. It overlooked downtown Chattanooga and the Lookout Stadium, and the sun would rise just over Lookout Mountain. It was just the cutest little place. And I realized something. I realized that I could help other college students find apartments that were off campus, that may be affordable, and market to the landlords. And maybe I could make a referral fee there, so get compensated in some way. So I called my uncle who owned a real estate business in West Tennessee. And he said, son, first off, you need a real estate license to sell real estate or earn money off transacting real estate. And you'll never make money renting to college kids. Why don't you just go sell homes? So that summer, after my freshman year, I got my real estate license and I started selling real estate. It looked a little bit different back then. I was sort of the grunt worker for an on-site sales team in a really nice neighborhood. It was a golf community and they sold really nice homes. And I was just very fortunate to be sort of their grunt worker. I would hold open houses for them. I would do anything that the on-site agents didn't want to do, literally just learning my way into the business. I remember this one day, I stood out on the front porch and I overlooked this, just a picturesque morning, and there were kids riding their bikes outside. There were people walking their dogs, and it just dawned on me, that feeling, that experience was very similar to my childhood and the great experience that I had in the community that I grew up in. There was a connection that was made that's lasted with me forever. And I knew from then on that my responsibility in this world was to help families make wonderful places to call home and leave a legacy for their kids and their children. You know, there's something else that I realized as a child, that the real estate agents in our community, they were some of the most highly respected people. They sponsored youth sports, boys clubs. They seemed to just be the influencers before an influencer was a thing. And that was a really cool thing for me, and something that I knew I wanted to lean into as an adult, and certainly as I could grow my career, is to give back in the way that I saw them give back. So graduating college, I wanted to experience a little bit of a bigger city. And so I moved to Atlanta, started working with a builder as an on-site sales agent. It was the perfect way for me to get to know the different pockets of Atlanta. And I sort of settled in Alpharetta area, where I met my wife, who was also a salesperson at the same builder. And in 2008, when the recession hit, the builder went out of business, and my wife and I kind of found ourselves really kind of jobless. And we had two options. We could either stay in real estate or we could do something else. Well, for a slight minute, I thought about doing something else. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to start over anywhere else I go. I already know real estate and I already love it. Let's just dig in and go full throttle. So we opened up our own real estate company It was called Robert Reid Realty. And I'm going to tell you guys, 2008, even though as hard as it was, just the sheer hustle and effort, it was probably the best time that I've ever had in real estate, just knocking on doors and getting really grounded in the community. That was when we really started to build what now has turned into this really great company. You know, what I love about real estate really hasn't changed. Getting to know our clients, what makes them tick, listening to their aspirations, their dreams, and sometimes even struggles, but helping them transition. And really what's not an easy process is so fulfilling to me. For so long, I felt like the value of our real estate team needed to be hidden behind curtains. And quite frankly, the more that I grow and mature, I just know that giving away as much as we possibly can, giving you guys the secret sauce to how we sell houses, even if we don't get somebody to buy a house or sell a house from these podcasts, it doesn't really matter, because 10 years down the road, if somebody picks up this video and it helps them in one little way make the moving process a little bit easier for them, then it was worth it. And so that's what it's for. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of Local Living with the Reid Casey Real Estate Team, available on all podcasting platforms.